3, 2, 1. We are live action on the Median Podcast. Nigel is my guest for today, a distinguished biochemist who now runs a beautiful, empowering YouTube channel about chemistry, which is very, 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 very amazingly, lovingly interesting. I think I repeated myself a couple times, but that's okay.
Am I supposed to be quiet right now?
Yes, please. Don't
It's like a very long intro.
Don't ruin the intro, Nigel.
Okay.
Please. Basically, guys, this guy is a very interesting man. I've known him for several years now, and I'm glad you're on the podcast. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
It's like now you can say something. Now you can speak.
I don't have much to say.
Okay, thank you. That's a wrap. Imagine just like, that's a wrap, people. Thank you. So Nigel, we could tell the people, we could be open about it. This is our second time
Sure.
doing this sort of. But what I like about that is that we were always open-minded in practicing. So now that we're even me, like this is what, maybe my like sixth time doing the podcast. I'm excited we're recording again, and this one's for the history books.
I mean, assuming
Mark my words.
Assuming it actually gets posted, right?
And that's the thing, we don't know. Low key, we don't know. That's what's fun about starting out, is that you record, you have a good time. If we like what we hear, we do it. But like, basically last time we touched on a lot of topics. So I'd like to maybe go back to certain things that I thought were interesting, especially because you found relative success with your YouTube channel.
Relative to what?
Relative to several people.
Okay.
And relative to, I don't know, you tell me, Nigel. No, you've definitely found success in the past 5 years with your YouTube channel. You've done many experiments, not only in the lab but outside of the lab. Play on words there. No, it's not really play on words, but it's okay.
I don't even know what you're referencing, really.
Me neither. No, I'm joking. No, but I meant experiments like trial and error inside and outside of the lab. Experiments with your channel in terms of what content works, what doesn't.
Okay. That's what you're saying.
That's what
Because I started in my garage.
That's why.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were referencing.
In the garage at home. Wow, 2014.
It actually, like, it dawned on me. I miss working in, like, I hate working in the garage. Was awful. There's just no space. There's no space, and it's dangerous. But
of course,
I realized like a couple days ago, I kind of missed that.
Why do you miss it though?
I don't know. There was
like nostalgic almost.
No, but there's a sense of I was able to do these things in a place that I shouldn't be. Right? Okay. That's how we kind of started. That's what was really nice about it.
Thrill. It was like.
But now that I have, my own lab space, I have 2 fume hoods now. I mean, the fire extinguisher still has not been attached to the wall, so it's still a little bit sketchy. But
it works. So
it's just, it feels so. It's good because it's safe and like proper and more professional.
Yeah.
But I realized that I do miss the little, the rush of danger. But it's probably better than it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely.
I just thought about that like 2 days ago. I was like, this is.
Yeah, you just had an epiphany.
Well, because once I built the whole lab, I'm like, this is like official now.
And you're basically finished with the renovations, right?
Yeah, like yesterday we installed insulation for the roof.
Nice.
To knock the sound level down so you could speak without an echo.
Okay.
I have to do that in the lab side, and then that's done.
And then what else would need to be?
I technically am going to build a recording booth, but I don't know if I'll do that.
Oh, really? So you'd section off a part of
to do the voiceovers.
Oh.
Because otherwise you just, I mean, there's noise. I'm doing it at home now. It's not ideal. It's better. I want to do all the work there, and then when I leave, I'm done.
Yeah, so when you go home, you're at home, not at the office.
Yeah.
Yeah. But once that's completed, what would be the next step? Because now you kind of...
I mean, when I built the first lab last year, it turns out that the next step was to build a second lab the following year. But no, that's not going to happen next year. I'm absolutely not building another one.
Yeah, I saw what
It doesn't
what you
need. It
did,
doesn't
and
need to be bigger.
I think
It doesn't need to be
I
bigger.
think you're set.
But it's also, my brother pointed out something very, valid.
Okay.
Because I was looking through my videos. I'm like, I didn't produce that much in the past year compared to what I would normally produce. Then he pointed out, it took me 5 months out of 15 months. It took me 5 of those to build both labs. So literally 33%
Wow.
of my, last 15 months building.
And it was 9 to 5. Monday
Oh, more
to
than
Friday.
it was like 10 to midnight sometimes.
Monday to Sunday.
Every single day of the
Every
week.
day,
Yeah.
But were you constantly going out buying stuff for the lab and then
Yeah.
renovating and then realizing, oh, maybe I need more?
That's all it was. And
And
then,
then-
you go home, you have to design the next thing. So you go home, build it. Pick it up in the
So
morning.
you built it
build
in segments, basically?
And the worst part was the first time I did it, I didn't have all my stuff there. The second time I did it, all my stuff was in one room. So I had to build one room, bring everything to the other room, build it, then bring it back.
Yeah. And now that it's almost over, you must
That's
feel
pretty much
very,
done. It's pretty much done.
You must feel a nice sense
I think
of pride.
I have like trauma from all the building. Because like yesterday we put up the little like the foam on the roof or the fiberglass.
insulation there. Okay,
and
okay.
just having to do construction again was like making me upset.
Oh, really? Huh?
I just didn't want to do it.
So you're just like,
I can't. I have to like take a break. I can't build anything. But we do still have to put up the roof for or the ceiling
lab?
for the lab. Otherwise, you can't speak in it properly. It just echoes like crazy.
And that includes more building. Like,
We were able to do this in a
requires
few
more
hours.
building.
That's the thing. It's really not that bad.
Okay. But you're doing it now. So
Yeah.
what, another month?
Oh no, it's once I put that roof up, it's like done.
You're finished.
Yeah, it's really basically done.
And then on to the next step.
Which is actually doing the videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now you have a second channel that you're trying to revive as well.
Yeah, as of like
so, like what, like 2 days?
2 days ago.
Yeah, literally. So what's the future like in terms of content? What are you looking at accomplishing within the next? Let's start with a year. Like what are you thinking for the next year?
Well, we have a book we're working on.
Okay.
But that's still
Under wraps.
we haven't we know the basic premise, the idea, the working title that my brother's working on it. Mostly he's focusing on it. The working title, which he didn't like, but now he seems to like it, is Why Chemistry Doesn't Suck. Because it's supposed to, everyone you speak to thinks chemistry is terrible. And it's because they don't really know how interesting chemistry can be.
Yes.
And there's also other reasons why, and we're going to go over it, but that's one thing I want to be done by the end of the year.
Okay.
At least a very almost completed draft. But the other thing I'm just focusing on doing, I guess, you spend all those years, you start as a hobby,
Yes.
then you try to make a video. As you see success, as we mentioned, we were talking before, like off camera, you keep working on these videos. And it's weird because you start getting to this weird trap where the videos that you like doing are coincidentally the videos that everyone else likes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You start not being able to differentiate what you want to do versus what gets views, what people like, and you start answering a lot to your audience versus what you want to do. And that's important when you're establishing an audience, but it's also, I think I let it go a bit too.
Like it was.
You're
in favor of the audience,
and it wasn't
rather
even
than
their fault.
yourself.
It's just my fault. Like I tend to. I just didn't really favor as much what I wanted to do.
What do you think? Do you think that? Because I was talking about this with a friend recently. Do you think that ultimately, no matter how many people view your videos, that you should keep at least 51% of the content in favor to what you like? You should never give them more than 50%. That way it becomes too stressful and trying to please everyone, where in theory where in retrospect it should be more about what you like, and then let them decide on what you could tweak, more like a micro
So
like a micro fix?
I have an answer to that. It's a little bit, I don't know. So when you first start, you kind of do have, that's a problem. You do have to favor what other people want. Because if you don't, then no one's going to watch what you're doing, right?
Absolutely.
There's like plenty of people that I say plenty of people I can think of. And then, of course, I can't think of one example. But if there's many artists now where you watch, they're kind of eccentric and weird. If they made that as their first video, people would just think they're crazy and they wouldn't do it. But if you watch, some of them slowly got there. And there's other artists that, I mean, again, I don't have examples, but I note it when I think about it. They establish their audience. And then once they have that audience of people who, you know, trust that they make good quality, whatever it is, then they start to explore what they want to do. Because if it's weird and a little bit unique, the audience is more trusting to give it a chance.
No, I agree. Yeah.
So I think in the beginning, you do really have to give
more power to the,
because if you do only what you want, then you're not going to grow your audience. You have to do, I would say maybe at the beginning, you do more what the audience wants, but then as you gain your audience, you can pull it back to a much more balanced point. I don't know if it's actually like 51-50, but I'd say it's probably not
far from that.
I mean, the goal is to just do 100% what you want.
And just hope people like it.
And have people still like it. But that's obviously...
That's more difficult.
Yeah.
And it's probably more rare nowadays to have everybody appreciate what you're doing because of the power that social media has. Everyone has a voice. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone supposedly has a PhD on a certain topic, and they could say what they please. And because how many people are on social media now? Would we say easily 1 billion?
Dude, I think there's like 4 billion on Facebook. No,
I honestly I don't know.
That could be wrong. Maybe it's 3.
Maybe
I'm pretty sure it's like Facebook alone has,
so half the population.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
has
like most
access to Facebook and has an account.
A huge, but those numbers could be wrong. Like,
yeah, it could maybe be like 1 billion or less.
But no, I'm pretty sure it's guaranteed over 1 billion.
You want to check it out?
You can check. No, it's guaranteed over. I'm pretty sure it's like 3.
So just imagine that 3 billion people. You can't please them all, but you definitely look at some rare cases and you're like, okay, like this person's maybe a bit more unique. And I think, I don't know if do you think it's more personality? Is it content? I don't know if that's a very open-ended question. Like maybe it's hard to find an answer, but just to maybe keep the ball rolling on that idea, what do you think wins an audience over at the end of the day?
I mean, so what wins an audience over? That's like you're asking for the golden answer.
Yeah, basically.
What everybody
to give me
what everyone is.
A lot.
Every artist has always wondered.
Yeah.
The answer is there is. I don't know. It's
I guess
you obviously have to have a balance of. It depends on what type of art you're producing, because if you're producing art that no one needs to know who you are, for example, I mean, you can see like certain directors. Yeah, like right, make great movies, and you, as the most end users, they go, "Oh, we know the few greats," but they don't only go to a movie because it's a certain director.
Yeah.
So
like
it's like
art house film where it's a niche market.
And
you have to appeal to, I don't know, like 2% of the population, where it's like, it's like weird and dark and grim. But
it doesn't have to be that niche. There's plenty of movies that come out in the theaters that I'd say 90% of people
still
never even, they have no idea who the director is.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like his persona is irrelevant.
Yeah, a lot of
in
people,
the industry, among his colleagues, it's useful.
Oh, for sure.
But to the end user, it doesn't really matter.
Well, it's like at the Oscars, they tried to snub.
I don't know. I didn't watch them.
I think it was the cinematography category. Very important categories were going to be. How should I put this? They basically decided during commercials to announce the winners of like 4 pretty major categories. And because of this, obviously there was a lot of backlash because people didn't appreciate it, because within the industry, a cinematographer, for example, who's not an A-list celebrity that your regular person will learn to appreciate, or will feel like they can relate to, is a very important, that person's very important on set, because they basically, direct the image, right? And that's the thing, is that having those categories snubbed, I don't know if they ended up being snubbed, but there's disrespect towards those people.
I didn't hear about this at all.
Yeah, no, it left a sour taste in many people's mouths, if that's the proper expression for it. But yeah, I feel like I'm rambling on a bit, but long story short, yeah, it's what were we talking about? That's why I feel like I'm rambling on. What were we talking about again? We're talking about
oh no, don't ask me, because I don't know.
Yeah, now we're like
you were just saying you were saying what's more important, what are the key aspects that you need to have something successful, I guess. Yeah. I guess in social media, I don't know, or in art.
Yeah.
In general.
Oh yeah, we're talking about niche markets and artists and stuff. Like, people don't know. Yeah, you were saying within the industry that like, for example, like, everyone knows Quentin Tarantino, but I feel among my peers, like, not a lot of people know Spike Lee. I don't know, but I feel like
but they might know his name. Like, I'm talking about directors who, like, they're big enough directors to be directing movies
like Avengers or Harry Potter. You just don't really know who they are.
That's what I'm saying, right? It's major movies, and people go, they're not going to Harry Potter for the director.
No,
right? Exactly. They're not. That's just not a thing. So I'm saying, in that industry, for the end user, it's not important. In the industry itself, your persona and how you work with your colleagues is important, but that's any job.
Yes.
But I was saying that in terms of becoming popular as an artist, what's more important, your work or your persona? Like I said, it depends on. That's what I'm saying. It depends on both, but it's always a bit of both. And I think that for when it comes to, I guess, for my channel, I was gonna say artistry, but when it comes to, like, my channel, I realized when it began, I thought it was all just. I treated it just like a lab report. It was just a very dry science thing. But as time went on, I did start to realize the artistic aspects of it, and I also started to understand that it's 50% of it is always going to be business.
Yes.
Like, that's just inevitable. Because if you want to have an audience, you have to put effort into trying to figure out how to get that audience.
Yes.
And the moment you start doing that, then you're straying further away from pure art. So it's like, you're always going to be, I would say it's always 50-50 being like business.
Between art and business.
If you want to make a living off it, it's always going to be 50-50.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Until you get super, super well known, and you get so much, the rewards for what you do is so high in comparison to, like, what you do. So you make one song and you get $5 million
easily.
Then you can kind of ignore the business side of it.
Yeah, because
your rewards are so much higher than your not that the work you're putting in, but you can afford to be much more. I forget, you have much more, like, ability to explore the artistic side, because money is not a problem. But for most people in anywhere in that realm, you have to learn marketing, you have to learn all those other things, and that's just kind of like part of it.
Yeah.
And it's like you shape everything. So I'd say that's more important to learn. Like, I would say the artistry, like your product and your persona, is on one side, and then the other half is just marketing and business. Yeah, and stuff like that.
And I guess at one point, when you reach a certain level of popularity, like you were saying, you definitely have to worry less about the marketing and the branding. Because, for example, one of my favorite artists is J. Cole.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, and I know this sounds ironic because I coined him as my favorite artist, but I'm not sure if what I'm going to say is proper. But, you know, an artist I appreciate a lot for his music. He never puts out any promo before the album is released. He will just release it and let it speak for itself.
That's like me.
And that's why
I don't know why I do that.
But
That's not strategy or marketing on my side. I just don't.
No, yeah, it's not. But obviously, J. Cole's been around for many, many
But see,
years, and he's already
You've
established.
established yourself.
He's established himself. I just think that when you're starting off,
No, you have to do that.
you
stuff.
have to, and that's good that you acknowledge
I
it.
kind of didn't. Like, I never.
So, do you think you could have grown a lot faster or more efficiently?
I don't even think it would have made a difference for me.
You don't think so?
Nah.
But I'm talking statistically, not personally.
No, I think
Like-
it gave me. If it just. I don't think it would have changed. I think it might be good that it took longer because it gave me more time
Mm-hmm.
to think about what I wanted to do.
Yes. But don't you believe that time is money?
I mean,
And that
I'm still making
maybe-
money while I'm doing it.
yeah. But like, do you? Yeah, I guess I didn't hone in on the exact question, but what I wanted to try and ask, or what I'm going to ask you now, is that all that time you took,
Mm-hmm.
knowing the money you could have made. I don't want to start putting.
But
what
I don't think my
like,
growth would have been any bigger.
Nothing.
Because
So growth, number wise, financially.
I think
et
it just
cetera,
was
et
a
cetera.
matter of, because at the beginning it's this weird balance, and like, I mean, naming him here is not going to mean anything to anyone, but just our friend.
Mhm.
I won't name him.
That's okay.
Whatever.
Well, I think, will I catch on maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
A friend of ours.
Yes, I think I know.
He makes music.
Yes, okay, now
Yeah.
I know you.
So
Yeah.
it's the big issue when you're first starting
Mm-hmm.
that he was kind of having, because hopefully I'm going somewhere relevant with this, but he would make songs.
Mm-hmm.
And the issue is that you make, at the beginning, no one knows who you are. So you want to make enough songs that they can listen to and get to know who you are as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to make so many that they just go, wow, this guy's like just pumping these songs out. It doesn't seem very unique.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird balance that you have to get at the beginning of producing enough that people know who you are, but
Yeah.
not so much that they're sick of you.
Mhm.
And I think that and I think that goes with any art. And for me, I was producing actually like 1 million videos. But
Yeah.
I think that for me, in my head, not promoting it, not doing all that stuff, kept it more in the realm of it not being serious.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I did it for a couple of years like that, because I didn't know what I wanted out of it.
So
I wasn't,
yeah.
and I don't see the marketable value at the time. I was like, so I just didn't do anything. But I think it turned out good because I was producing, I don't know, I don't know what I'm realizing now that my other example there, it doesn't really tie in that well.
But do you believe that
Forgot where I was going with it.
maybe I could help bring stuff back? Maybe I think it might be somewhat related question, but something that you said that was interesting. Do you think that at one point when you make so much, when you create so much content, that yes, perhaps you lose your audience, but do you think at one point you lose passion yourself?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that you just become uninterested?
Because you're just that's the problem at the beginning. Like, you're generating all these, let's say, songs, videos, and you're just hoping that one's going to do really well.
And then if they never go well, that's when you just become...
Well, you just quit.
Yeah,
but it's
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
the
Like,
people
you just
try
become unmotivated. And you're
yeah.
like, okay, well, I don't.
But it's
wanna do
because you're
this
trying this like shotgun method. But the problem is you can't do it the other way. You can't put out one a year because no one's going to pay attention.
Yes,
But if
exactly.
you shotgun it, you have a better chance. But if you ever go to YouTube channels and you see them having like a video a day and they all have 5 views or 10 or whatever,
Yes, I know. Yeah.
you go.
So you-
Sorry, I'll just say when you discover a channel and you go, oh, I like their video, and you look at their channel and they only have 10, and then you watched 10 and they're all great.
Yeah.
You go, okay, I'm going to subscribe to this channel. They consistently produce good quality.
Yeah. It's like what's
So that's what you want at some point. Like for me, that's why over the time, I mean, it took longer and longer to make videos, but I toned down how many I made.
Yeah.
And I would choose my topics much more wisely. Just the editing, everything, and the planning that went into it. But I realize now I can post. I was always afraid that if I didn't post one every couple days, then people would just not unsubscribe. But now it's like one every. I didn't post one for 2 months, and it didn't really make a difference.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I find at least, I was gonna say, this whole section that I mentioned all this other stuff, I feel like I have no idea where I was going with that. So
That's
I'm just going
fine.
to pretend.
But
I'm changing gears right now.
Yeah, let's change.
But no, one
gears.
thing I was going to say, which is actually pretty relevant,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just kind of, whatever, it's just kind of funny. The other day I was on, what was I looking up? I was looking up how to do something, I don't remember, refining some metal or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just doing research on Google.
Mm-hmm.
I found something on Reddit. They mentioned it. And someone goes, follow this link.
Mm-hmm.
This video has a lot more info about it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I clicked on the video, it was my own.
No.
And then in my head first was, God, this is useless info, right?
No. Yeah.
But it was kind of what I had realized before. It's like I'm one of the very few people who produce videos like what I'm producing.
Mm-hmm.
So inevitably, I'm going to be, if I'm looking for something, I'm going to end up being referenced to myself.
Mm-hmm.
But that was kind of it signified to me that if I'm looking for stuff and I find myself, then I'm somehow relevant.
That's so wild.
And that was just, it just was like one thing that I realized, okay, you really can stop like thinking too much about that, because as the channel builds up, you always worry if this comes crashing down in like, I don't know, a month, what do I have? What can I say I achieved from it? And what do I have to like, what can I pick up from the rubble? And that's always something that bothered me. I thought about as I was building the channel.
Yeah.
But it's like in the past year or so, I've come to realize that I did actually build something.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, and it's something small, but finding my own video, being like, huh,
you're like,
I guess I'm somewhat
you're like,
if I
wow.
find myself, then I'm somewhat relevant. But it took what, 5 years
to build an empire.
But the weird thing is, it took 5 years to build to a point, and when I got here, I don't care.
But yeah, and that's what's going to be.
That's what I was going to say. Is like,
I think.
what?
Look at that. No, it's just notifications because there's hockey on.
I was
My
going to say,
bad.
take it off the table, man.
Yeah, it's vibrating.
Yeah, I hear it.
You can hear it, huh?
Oh.
Yeah, I can hear it. Okay, I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna tuck it.
But it's just one of those weird things. Is that when you begin, you're striving for something so hard, and when you get there, it just doesn't matter.
So you're saying, you started year one. You
Because
say I want to end up here, and then when you reach the milestone,
it's just
you're just like, well, it feels good, but let me go to milestone 2.
No, it's not that. It's that I think I developed a more healthy like attitude about the whole channel. But like as it's building, you go, I just want to be, I not recognized, but you go, I want to be established in this. I want to make sure the foundation is solid. Mm-hmm. And there's a few ways that you look at it. You can go monetarily, subscriber wise, and just like how prolific you are in your field. Mm-hmm. And it's like when you're building up, you're pretty aware of where you are. Mm-hmm. And I would say that like the equivalent for like a music artist is when you drive down the street or you walk down the street and you hear someone else playing your music. And it was someone else I heard saying, it was actually on the H3 podcast. They said they know they made it as designers for clothing when somebody's wearing their clothing line. Mm-hmm. And when you ask them if they know about like their podcast and everything, and they have no idea who they are. Mm-hmm. Like that's kind of, there's just like these few little
hints,
things that you know that like you've made, some foundation. Mm-hmm. But the thing is when you're beginning, that's all you're looking for. Mm-hmm. And I found that my attitude about it changed a lot. And it's like kind of like I kept striving for it. I'm like, hopefully one day I'll get there. And when I get there, it'll be so great. And I'm not going to say I'm not happy to have the channel where it is now.
Yes.
But it's like what really pushed me in the beginning
is not the same
thing as it is now. You get there and you go, oh, it's just I'm the same. Like, well, it's like you don't fundamentally just
change.
It doesn't. Yeah, you're not like. I mean, you do change as a person, but like it's like if you won $1 million, you're not gonna just change.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like you keep theorizing. Oh, I can buy this. I can buy that. Then once you get it, you're like, oh, this is all just stuff, right? And then you go, wow, getting that $1 million, that didn't change the fact that I'm pissed off about whatever my brother being mean to me. It's like, no, like people, I know that at the beginning you think that getting to a certain point of success will just make you altogether
that's
like,
a fairy
better.
tale. That's a fairy
But once you get there, you realize, no, you had to actually systematically fix all those problems. It's great to be there.
Yeah.
But it's not like, it's not some end all be all place.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's nice because once I found my own video, I was like, you know what? I really can just do what I want with this channel now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was good. It was like, it's a good feeling to know that I can just do what I want.
Of course.
And I can if I produce a bad video, I'm not going to just lose half my subscribers. I mean, I don't produce anything that would really make people that emotionally angry.
Yeah, I don't think you'd lose half.
But
half
it's
your
like,
fan base
I
over
don't
that.
fear trying new things now. That's what I think is the important part about getting to a point where you're stable.
Yes, of course. It's, for example, unrelated in terms of the analogy, but related in terms of the mindset. I think it was a basketball player or an athlete who basically said that you wear suits, you shake people's hand, and you sell yourself until the day you make it, sign a huge contract, and then you could wear whatever clothing you want. You could say what you want because you've become...
to a limit.
To a limit, of course.
Yeah.
There's always a limit. Because now you've found stability in your career, in your life. You've become sort of a brand because athletes nowadays become public figures. So they're able to, reach out to a large audience, have them, find a reason to, relate to them because of this happening in their life or this or that. For example, like Odell Beckham Jr.
I do not know any sports.
Who's one of the most famous football players right now in the NFL, recently was traded to the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
To
I'm
join.
shocked. I'm shocked.
Yeah. Oh my God, I had no idea. To join his brother, but his brother, not by blood, but by friendship, because he ended up knowing him, I think, before high school, if I'm not mistaken. Went to, I think, different high schools, but promised each other that they would still follow in the same footsteps. Went to the same college, got drafted, if I'm not mistaken, the same year to different teams, because it's very difficult to have two teams, get the same talent, like draft the same talent in the same year. Usually never goes that way. And then throughout their NFL career became very prolific figures for the sport, very popular, famous names. And now his brother that he's now joining was traded to that team last year. Now Odell is with him. And then Nike produced a commercial, Just Do It, with the, their usual motto, Just Do It, referring to that storyline. So how they came up together, grew up together, and now they're on the same team, basically building their legacy. So that's kind of the way I see it with what you were saying, just to kind of come back to that with athletes and stuff. It's like, you wear a suit, shake people's hands until you make it. And then once you're there and you're at a certain point, you could definitely, like you said, never be afraid to make a mistake or to experiment more.
Yeah, you have,
because you have a sense of comfort that people that are with you want to be with you and want to follow you on this journey and back you up no matter what. There's always going to be a hater, right? There's always going to be someone, whatever that means. There's always going to be someone who doesn't appreciate what you did, but then there's another 50% that do. And
we say there's one person that won't appreciate it,
and then
50%. So you have two viewers.
You have two viewers.
Damn.
Mathematically speaking, you have two viewers.
Okay.
So my sentence wasn't mathematically correct. You have. So let's just say, let's rewind.
You got to get more than two to be stable, I'd say. Yeah.
So let's just say you have a large portion of viewers that don't like it, and let's just say that's 30%, then 70% like it. You could even inverse it and say 70% didn't like your video, But
I'd say that's a pretty rough.
so look, it was a,
I
it
would
was
say
a rough
that
video.
I would reevaluate what you're doing if 70, even if 30% don't like it.
But do you think that? But that's for one video. So do you think that you should have one video define you though?
What do you mean?
So let's say right now you have a steady, you have a great foundation. We were just talking about that great foundation, steady growth. Let's say you make a video and 70% of people dislike it.
It's be pretty.
For you,
I'd have to put something out pretty bad.
oh,
Like
really, huh?
I'd have to just do like something really low quality and off topic.
It's like, hi, I'm Nigel. We'll learn about.
Dude, for April Fools,
Yeah.
I always put out something.
Okay, so you did.
Because they're videos that I made when I was like 15 or 14.
Mm-hmm.
So I posted, one last year was how to use a toaster, and this one was how to use a how to use a stapler.
And it was like, but
They're awful
but
videos.
it's satire.
But that's the thing, people know it's a joke,
Yes.
but I mean, it gets like 8% dislikes.
Really?
Well, yeah, because people go, what is this?
Really?
But
So
the other people appreciate how bad it is.
Do you read all the comments?
Sometimes.
How many
I
comments
scan
do you
over
get?
them. I have no idea.
Like probably a couple hundred,
No, definitely more than that.
like 1,000.
I think
That's cool though.
the stapler one kind of like, polarized some people. I think I got 84 comments in less than a few minutes,
That's dope.
maybe 5 minutes. But I don't actually pay attention to the totals. I don't know anything else. I only know that because when I posted the video, I kind of regretted it.
Oh really?
And then like
No, that's
literally
good. I like that.
one dislike happened and I'm like, I got to take it down.
Yeah, you're like, no, but you kept it.
Yeah, it's fine.
You kept it nonetheless.
Yeah.
That's good. You have to have fun with it. You can't let those people. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking you. Because me personally, I feel like if one
Get bullied by that one guy.
no, and then the other 50%.
It wasn't even a negative comment. It was just one dislike. It was the silent hater.
The silent hater. Those are the worst. It's like,
No.
why do you even bother disliking if you're not going to drop a comment? You should at
Express
least,
your
you
hate
should
to my
justify. You should at least justify why.
I respond to them.
Oh, you know who dislikes?
No, I don't care about the
Oh,
dislikes.
you like okay?
And the
You
dislikes
actually
are the
respond
dislikes
to
are fair too because it's like, I mean, the last one I posted on how to use a toaster, you got some poor kid from India who was like really upset. He was like, in broken English, he's like, if you keep posting videos like this, I'm gonna have to unsubscribe. I really looked up to you as chemistry, but now it's clear that you're just trying to make money with cheap, low quality videos. I'm like, dude, like he didn't get, probably because I don't know if they don't do April Fools there, probably not. So he was just upset. He just thought I was just posting a piece of crap.
Wow.
So I responded to him like, look, this is just a joke.
Poor guy. He probably didn't get your humor.
He
too.
was so
He was just like very.
He was so
sour
upset.
about that,
He was
huh?
so upset. But it's like, I don't know. The dislike bar does tell you if people liked it or not, which is a useful metric.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really believe in the term hater, to be honest.
Yeah,
because,
well,
I mean, there are some people who just get angry. Like, just, I've have some videos where people, it's just an innocuous thing, and people just get angry. And I don't really think they're haters. I don't really like that term. I don't know what they are. They're just like,
they're just people that give you feedback.
well,
that
some people,
criticize,
but
and
they're
you're just-
it's insane. The person would be like, it's the most innocuous thing.
So
like, for example, I'll
it's
make this up.
completely.
I
out
buy
of the
a
blue.
bottle of something, and then I mention, I don't know, I'm trying to make this something up that makes sense. I buy a bottle of something, and then in the video I mention, oh, I needed a liter, so I bought 2 500 ml bottles, right? And you get a comment, you do realize they sell 1 liter bottles? Are you an absolute moron? You wasted $2, and I'm like, yo, dude, like,
Chill.
why are you so angry?
Chill. Yeah.
But it's like, it's not even like I didn't even express an opinion. I just probably went to the store and the 1 liters were out of stock. It's like, it's really not a big deal. And the person just gets so angry.
Worked up about it.
And I don't get it. I don't think that anyone could actually be that angry about that. I think they're doing it just so that I think they know it gets attention. I don't know. I don't know. I don't take it personally. I just
No,
kind of look at
I
that
hope you
weird.
don't.
And I'm like, why is that guy so mad?
Yeah.
Because it's just weird, right? And that's
Yeah.
most of the time people comment on stuff when they're really angry. They'll comment on
That's
stuff.
so funny.
They'll be really angry about something that I don't think really makes sense to be angry about.
No, exactly. Like, I bought 2 bottles.
Well, I didn't.
instead of one.
I don't understand if I was talking politics or I was telling them like
Of
I was talking
course.
about like religion.
But it's like an OCD thing. It's like, whoa, like
But it's like I'm not talking about anything that is offensive in any in any way.
literally.
Like I don't know. Like I think I've had it before where I poured something and it splashed a bit, and the person's like, "You call yourself a professional?" That was and like just goes crazy, and I'm like, "Dude, I slipped."
Yeah.
Like,
right. Do people back him up or her or the person?
Usually these comments they just kind of like it depends on the video. They just fly by. So YouTube just selects them randomly
So you
sometimes
happen
to like
to see them.
I happen to see it. But sometimes people like I usually comment. If I do comment, I'll just be like I usually don't. But I'll just be like, "Why are you so angry?"
Like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. Please.
I don't know what like I don't know why he's so mad.
There's no answer.
But either way, I don't like the term hater because I think the people who there's two types. The people like that and some people call them haters and I'm like I don't know. They're just I don't know what they are. They're not really like hating on your content because it's just their points make no sense. But then there's the other ones
yeah.
who I mean, I would say in the other category, they have valid criticism and either they give it to you constructively or with rage. But
With rage.
well, it might
They release their wrath on
like
you.
one person might go, you posted like, for example, years ago,
Yeah.
I made videos on this piranha solution where you put meat in and I would dissolve like hot dogs and all that stuff. And I kept I did like 4 in a row. This is when I was posting like a video every couple days, so it didn't matter. But I put like a couple in a row and one person got mad and he's like, I thought this channel was better than this. If you keep posting stuff like this just to get like,
Like
quick views
likes
or whatever, I'm going to have to unsubscribe because that's not what I came here for. And like, it's a bit of an aggressive comment and maybe it was a bit more aggressive than that, but his point is at the core of it valid. So I'm like, okay, he's upset because he liked the channel and he's afraid that it's going in a bad direction. So he's kind of a bit angry. That's fine. That's not a hate comment. And then you get the other people who go, they say it constructively. Like, hey, I noticed you did this. I don't think that's a good idea. Like, my 2 cents is I don't think you should do that. I really like this. Like, but at the core of it, they're still the same thing. They're upset with how it's going. So I look at that comment and I went, yeah, you're right. I'll stop posting these videos. Your point is valid. But the other ones are just like...
Just rage.
But that's why I don't really think haters... I don't know.
Yes, it's an illusion.
I think that people who call people haters, this is just my opinion, a lot of people say haters, they want to hide themselves from any criticism. So anyone who says anything negative is a hater.
Yeah,
you don't like what I'm doing,
wanna,
you're a hater. But if someone comments like, hey, yeah, I don't like the direction that you're going in, or I don't like this and this, I found this part of your video a little bit awkward. Even if they say it aggressively, it's still a point that
you have to, you have to.
It might be valid.
Of course, you have to, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to, what's the word to describe, like the action of, like, taking something as a whole and breaking it down to understand it. What's the word I'm looking for?
Break it down.
Yeah, like, I guess.
I have no idea.
Well, look, I could use a different word, but I feel like it's simpler than that. But anyways, if you break down the comment, the criticism
at the core of it, it's valid.
like you said, it's valid, and I think that, like, you deserve respect for that because you're aware by being by being aware of what it really means. Because, like you said, you remove the hate and you look at the core of their complaint or their criticism. From that point on, you're able to adjust. And then again, now it's a question of how much of it is for them and how much of it is for me. And then that's when you have to decide, like, okay, well, look, I agree the content is not aligned with what I usually do, but I feel like I should change the direction of the channel, maybe have a certain are they called like playlists? No, they're not playlists. On a YouTube channel you could
you can have playlists.
It's playlists, right? They're called like playlists. You could have like I don't know, Motivation Monday, and then you say like I'll do quick videos and do this and that. So you could always bring in more viewers by doing these strategies.
No, yeah, but the thing is that you evaluate it
Yeah.
You go, is it valid or not? And usually if people are commenting, a lot of them, I mean, it depends on your audience too.
Yeah.
Like my audience tends to be pretty tame.
Yeah, they seem to be just very neutral.
Well,
Like-
they're all, I've never had an issue.
Like great job, or I didn't like that. And
Yeah, they're honest, and I'm like, that's fine.
You're like,
I
thank
don't.
you.
I always know when my video is getting out of like that community because you start getting very weird comments, and like I said, you just get the angry ones that
Yeah.
don't make any sense.
Yeah.
That's when I know you're kind of getting into like if a video goes, I hate viral, but it goes outside of what people would
Yeah,
normally see
yes.
it. Yeah, you start getting weird comments.
Yeah, appears in the suggestions,
And it's
and
you
then
get
someone like, "Oh, what's this?"
like you said before,
chemistry.
you get it where everyone's a PhD. You get those comments where one person was
I love that.
one person
when
was
they
criticizing me, saying that I should have done something a certain way,
Yeah.
and their thing was, I am someone who works in the science community. I was like, what?
What? I work.
Oh no,
in
they
the
wouldn't say in
science
the science. Yeah, I think they said I work in the in the science industry. I was like, what does that even mean? I was like, if you say that, you probably don't. I don't even know what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, it's not
And
even a proper.
somehow that backs up his credibility. And then what he said was just wrong. Like, it was just flat out wrong. He's like, and you did this wrong because we normally do this. I'm like, no, you don't.
No.
I was like, I don't know where this guy's coming from. So you get people like that, and you just kind of laugh.
Yeah. You brush it off. You're like, whatever.
I mean, that was the one big thing. I remember when the channel first started, I didn't want to read a comment.
Yeah, because you're scared. You're like,
I still don't. Honestly, I still don't like it that much. I mean, I read them anyway, but you always at the back of your mind are like,
Yeah.
someone's gonna say
but-
something that's gonna bother me.
But don't you think at one point it's just like anything else? The more you read your comments, the more numb you become to this criticism.
I mean, too, like I said, I rarely get. And then once
You
it
don't
gets,
get phased anymore. Basically,
Nah.
you read it, you're like, okay, whatever. Like this person doesn't like it. Like we were talking about, like you'll look at it, you'll evaluate the comment at
Mhm.
its core, take what you need, and then keep developing. You won't let it affect you to the point.
at the
where you're,
beginning,
like,
it used
not
to bother
sleeping
me
at
a
night.
lot. I literally,
Well, how
I
long
think there
did it
was
take
one
to get
time I
over it?
didn't sleep because of it.
Yeah, and that's
Um,
normal. But like at this point, you're not losing sleep over it because you learn to deal with it in a different way.
Well, I think that it's what ultimately I learned was at the beginning, and this is what's weird. So at the beginning, you start off as an artist, right, in quotes, because I was doing science stuff. But I guess at the end of the day, it was kind of artistry, audio visual representation of some kind. And you're making a creation, and then people are judging you for it. So their opinion matters because you don't have an established anything in this realm.
Absolutely.
So you're like, you're unsure of yourself. But as time went on and it actually became, partially a job, you start to be able to like separate. You have to learn how to separate yourself from that public image and then your private image.
Yeah,
So when they
yeah,
criticize the channel, you go, like you're not like personally taking it. But what I'm saying is funny is, for example, if I wanted to start learning an instrument, which I actually mean to do, I will be insanely nervous. I've been wanting to learn piano and I won't post for probably a long time.
So you would eventually put that on your page?
Maybe
Like a
not.
piano
I do it
or-
separately and never tell anyone. Make my own separate little piano world.
That'd
If
be
I did
funny.
that.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I would be insanely nervous to post any of that because I haven't built a foundation in it.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
still
yeah.
something that I'm very insecure in. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's funny. You build the security, but it only works for
that
that
market.
one thing. The moment you try something else, your security
So
level
that's
just drops
interesting.
again.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you've built a foundation for your channel among the chemistry science community.
Like I know I can make my videos how they are and people like them. So
the
that's
thing,
it. That's
because
that's it.
That's it. But the moment you step out of that community,
Even if I change my editing style and the way that I make the video,
You'd be-
when I upload it, I'm unsure if people are going to like it, and you get a little bit nervous about the comments.
yeah.
Like it's really just getting used to, I guess, a habit and just
But you're
something.
satisfied with the way you edit. I know this is a small
Kind
it's
of.
probably irrelevant, but like you're satisfied with the way you do things now, or do you want to keep building?
I have to change. So it's like even my other channel that you vaguely mentioned earlier, it's a completely different editing style.
So yeah, that one's gonna be a faster pace channel. Well, it's gonna be like a channel based on, like, for lack of a better term, like science in a nutshell, where you just have like more fast paced videos.
No,
on,
okay, so like I mean I can explain it really quickly.
Yeah.
The idea was in the one channel,
Yes.
the Nile Red side.
Mm-hmm.
Did we mentioned at the beginning, right? Did we ever say the name?
No, I don't think so.
Oh no.
I don't
Oh, no.
I just said.
Oh no,
Science
because
channel.
I never introduced it. Either way, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
That side was always. It honestly started because I was very afraid to be in front of the camera. I was afraid for people to hear I was afraid of everything, right? Of people judging me. So I like to hide behind the camera. I like to have scripts. I like to have everything prepared. But as time went on, I started to realize how restrictive that model is.
Yes.
But the thing is that it also lets me do things that you can't do in a more open and unscripted model. So that's why I've created the other channel. And what I'm going to be doing is a lot of it, it's not going to be unscripted, but it's going to be a lot more just laid back, low level. I say low level editing, but it's different editing.
Yes.
Because before, when I make an entire video, and I was even doing it like today because I was editing some stuff, I know I've done it so much. I know exactly how to piece everything together.
Yeah.
I know my
second nature.
narrative.
Yeah.
As I'm doing it, I know what I'm going to say. So even one of my clips, I opened a valve. Sorry, I forget how. I did something in the wrong order, and I ended up redoing the clip because I knew that it's okay. I knew that when I edited, it was going to mess the narrative up. So it's like I'm so used to doing that. Whereas in the freeform one, where you don't have a script, it's just a very different. It's just the editing's easier in general, but it's just it's different. And learning how to actually do that editing and then presenting a video where I'm just sitting there talking for a bit, maybe it cuts between a few things. I've never done that. I'm going to be nervous to post it.
Yeah. Because you're not sure.
And every single thing that I post, I'm going to be unsure about. I'm going to be reading all the comments, looking for feedback. Because, I have no idea what I'm doing.
And that's when you go back to square one.
Basically. Well, you never go back fully to square one because you have like confidence in your ability to create something decent.
Yeah.
But you do go back a lot in the sense that you're now
more the artist.
Yeah, you're really unsure about what you're doing.
And you're experimenting with it. But are you expecting your fan base from channel 1 to carry over to channel 2?
Well, so I advertised it a bit, and it went from, because this channel had 11,000 subs, and I hadn't posted in like a year and a half. Because
it was a year.
I started something. So I got crossover when I first made the channel, and I think I had like maybe 60,000 subscribers.
Okay.
And then when I advertised it at the time, I instantly got like 6K.
Nice.
And then over a year and a half, I got like 5 more somehow.
Just
people just subscribing to a dead channel. So now when I advertised it, it went up to like 16.
nice.
But I think that it could get above 100K, like somewhat.
This summer, depending how many.
Yeah, like somewhat relatively quickly if I do an official advertisement on the main channel. But it's going to be a whole other journey to get anywhere decent on that one.
Would you be surprised? I don't know if you've thought about this. What if channel 2 becomes more popular than channel 1? Is that something that could happen?
Based on what I know, I don't think so.
Okay.
And the reason for it is because the chemistry stuff I do, it's weird enough that it's popular as it is.
But do you...
I have an explanation.
Yeah,
so it's
go,
it's weird enough that what I'm doing now is as popular as it is. When I got to 40K subs, I was like, that's it. It's capped out. There can't be more than that many people in the world who even care. But it kept going, and the reason for it is because I combined the aesthetics of chemistry, and I changed the format to be a little bit more appealing to
like a
wider audience.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is I kept aesthetic video.
Okay.
So even if you're not interested in chemistry in detail, you might still enjoy the visuals.
Yes.
This other channel won't have it It's not going to have nice visuals because it's going to be me in front of a camera, me talking about stuff. You're going to see a computer screen. I'm going to be walking around in a lab talking about stuff. It's going to be much more like
gritty, raw, or...
Well, I'd say the difference is like it's going to be much more based on so like I said, actually, so I'll go back a second.
Yeah,
like
no problem.
with the visuals, people will share it just for the visuals.
Yes.
Right? Because that has a broad appeal.
Yes.
Whereas what I'm going to be doing on this other side, it's a casual side. It's going to be more people who are interested in chem, and it's going to rely a lot more on who I am to get that anywhere.
Yeah, so your personality will carry the load.
Basically. But the thing is that if I don't post on my other channel or my main channel for like a month, I still get millions of views because people keep coming, go, oh, I want to know how to extract something from something. Whereas this other one, I think it's going to be based much more on like relevancy. There's not going to be as much ability for people to go back and search for videos.
Yes.
For example, like I made my announcement that I'm remaking the channel. In 2 months, that's going to be irrelevant. No one's going to watch that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Why does it matter?
Yes.
So, and then a lot of the videos that I'm going to make at the beginning will be piggybacking off of just the smaller percentage of people who are extra interested from the other channel. So for like a long time, it's never going to be as popular.
Yeah,
The only way that I see it becoming just as is I have a few segments and ideas that I want to explore on that side, which I think could do pretty well.
Okay.
But that's because, yeah, it could be interesting. But it'd be so different than what I'm doing on the other channel.
Yeah. So at this point, this channel will be exploiting a different market altogether.
Well, right now it's piggybacking off the main one.
For sure.
I'm going to be mostly talking about stuff off topic from the main channel, but it will eventually branch off.
Yes.
Will it ever get more than my main?
It could, but that's
I don't know.
not-
I don't know if it has more universal appeal.
Okay.
That's the thing. I just don't know.
Yeah, and that's the key word, I think.
I mean, I didn't even think my main channel would ever have as much appeal as it does.
Yeah.
But
And it's still growing, right?
yeah. I mean, recently it's growing more than it ever has.
That's nice. But we were talking about that, I think, last week, how channels grow exponentially. So you go from, 600 to 2,000, 10,000, 100,000, and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, I mean,
basically at 1 million subscribers. And then from there, because it's more recommended, the algorithms allow your videos to be suggested
Yeah.
more. I don't know, but is that how it works with the algorithms? Like the more views you have and this and
the
that.
more quote like relevant you are, the more likely you'll come up in search. For example, my video "How to Use a Stapler" is now apparently the number one video on how to use a stapler.
Are you serious?
It's terrible.
That's so funny.
Don't watch it.
But
Or do.
and how long is the video?
I don't know. It's like a minute.
But is that due to the tags you use in the video as
No.
well? No.
It's
just
it's
straight up.
I think it's just because my channel's verified too. So I just have more. And also it's based on, I think it's also based on how many views you get over time.
Yes.
So when I posted it, I got like 50K in a day. So if you get 50K in a day, they go, oh, well, obviously you're relevant. We're going to bump you to the top.
Yes.
But how many videos are going to get how to use a stapler? You get 50,000 people dying to know how to use one?
Yeah. You never know.
Well, the funniest thing is some people commented, they're like, I know this was a joke, but I hate that I learned something.
So, low key, you actually taught us a valuable lesson.
No.
No.
Just some people didn't know basics of staplers
I'm gonna
that
go
me
watch that
at
video.
15 years old apparently knew.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch a video.
You can watch it after.
The
You
video.
can watch how to use a toaster too.
I'm down. I don't. Do we? Yeah, we have a toaster oven now. We
I
don't use a toaster.
The worst part is I appreciate them
Yeah.
because I find them really funny. But the thing is, they weren't meant to be funny when I made them.
Yeah. Now
They were
you look
they were
back at
they were dead serious
dead
videos.
serious. Yeah, I know what you mean. But now they're just a joke or a joke, not in the sense that you like
Like I say stuff in it that just why would I say that?
yeah.
But they were at the time I saw no problem with it.
Yeah, you look back at it now, and it's like 10 years.
Like,
10 years down the line, you're like, wow.
The how to use a stapler video. I didn't staple. I didn't. What do you think? What do you think my props were for that video besides a stapler?
I hope you used paper.
I used a napkin.
Really?
Why? I don't know. I think that's just because that was what was on the
You're just
table.
like, I'll just
I think they just had a napkin on. I was too lazy to get a piece of paper from the cupboard or from the shelf.
Napkin.
Yeah, and
So
like
you like unfolded it.
I just stapled a napkin, and I'm like, why did I do that? And like my how to use a toaster video, I literally said I'm not gonna waste a piece of bread. So I showed how to use it without bread.
Nice.
Because I said I'm not gonna. I was like, why would I? Literally, I just didn't feel like getting a piece of bread from the loaf. It was just sheer laziness. But looking back at it, I laughed because I was like, this is so awful.
Yeah,
And if I were to
genuine too,
I was genuine. I didn't think it was that bad at the time, but it was just terrible. It's so low budget and lazy.
Yeah, but it was worth it. And it's a great April Fool's. Well,
joke. Now it is, but at the time, I wish I had. Oh, dude, I made hundreds of those videos.
Oh, you still have them?
I have like a little, but not all of them are. Like some of them are just bad.
Yeah, you would never post.
They're just not. They're just not funny.
Okay.
Like they don't have anything.
There's no substance. They're not worth it.
They're just not like interesting. Like one of them, like how to use a screwdriver.
That's like.
And it was just boring. There wasn't anything like.
And it was what, a minute long?
Yeah. But it was just like it was just boring. Just me doing. You turn it left or turn it clockwise, then counterclockwise. Like it's just there's nothing funny. The other ones that were just like
were kind of there was a.
In my opinion,
there was
they're
humor
funny.
to it.
In my opinion,
and apparently to their opinion as well, because your viewers appreciate it.
Some people liked it.
Yes.
Some people didn't.
They're like, what? What
Yeah.
are you doing? I found the number. There's 1.7 billion people that
On
use
Facebook? Yeah. So it wasn't 3, yeah.
But it's close.
I said 4. That's way off.
It's basically halfway there.
Yeah, that's crazy though.
1.7 billion. That's
I mean,
just Facebook.
It is weird, and I thought about it the other day, that anyone in the thing is, the people who aren't on it probably don't have internet, a lot of them, or easy access to internet, which is why they're not on it.
And I think you're exactly right, because due to the power it holds, I think that.
Well, and
I think that's exactly it.
Russia doesn't use it that much.
No, some countries don't.
And China doesn't.
I don't think China. Yeah, so that's like what? That's already like a third of the world's population right there. How many people are in Russia? Are we close to 1 billion? No. No. It's China and India that are over 1 billion.
Yeah, Russia's not that.
No, they're
huge.
what, like 600 million?
I don't even know.
Because U.S. is 300. Let's check check Russia, because the thing.
You can check.
The thing about.
I actually don't even know. I don't want to guess.
You don't want to guess?
No.
Okay, let's take a look.
Definitely not 1 billion.
Russia population. Oh.
I was gonna say 100 something.
You think 100 million?
200. Or 6. Either or could be right.
6. Well, hold on. I'm looking at
148 million.
Stats. I have to find 2019 stats. Okay, the population live. 148.
48.
You're so close. 143 million.
Did it go down in the last couple of years?
I believe it did.
Yeah.
2019 it's 143, and 2017 it's 144.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, I was pretty close actually.
You're very close.
I think it's because I looked.
Was that just
because I looked it up? I looked it up a while ago.
And you remember, right?
Because I thought it was. That's what tripped me up. For some reason, I thought they had more than America or than the U.S. Then I looked it up and was like, "Oh, that's not even half," and that's why I just remembered 140 something.
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty good. So proud of myself.
China has the world's largest population, 1.42 billion. India, 1.35 billion. The next 5 are the states, Indonesia, Brazil, Pakistan, and Nigeria. Together have fewer people than India. So imagine that. Those 5 countries still do not amount to 1.35 billion.
But either way, I guess I don't know. It means in North America, pretty much everyone's on Facebook.
Oh, everyone's on Facebook. I think there's maybe 10% that don't use it. Like realistically, there's a small percentage that does not. But Facebook owns most.
But they're
companies
having
now.
issues now with obviously all the
Yeah.
propaganda and other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it only makes sense because they're like they have the tools to basically take part. Sorry, it offers tools. It offers the right tools to people to use it for proper.
But I don't even use like it literally.
And it's just the biggest company. Like you could have said Snapchat, Instagram, whatever.
Oh yeah,
could have done.
But it's the fact of the news feeds. It never would have worked on me because I don't look at the news feed. I only use Messenger. So, but
yeah,
I think
Facebook's important for.
At least I
Messenger.
know for a lot of people that's what they just use it for. If somebody came up with some better
messaging
unfortunately,
app.
it'd be hard. I mean, there's WhatsApp, but then it's just like
WhatsApp's not the same though.
No, it's not.
But it's owned by Facebook.
Yeah, but it's just coming up with something right. It's hard, but I only use it for Messenger. That's basically it.
Yeah.
It's easier. I prefer it over text actually.
Well, the thing about Messenger is that you could then create group chats and then have everyone involved.
And then it's easier to send links and images and all that stuff.
Of course.
But I mean, I don't really care whether it's Facebook or something else.
No, because you'd have text message, Snap, Instagram.
I don't use Snapchat. I don't use any. I'm so
Snapchat.
lazy. I hate having to type on my phone. It's the worst thing ever.
But I don't think it's laziness. I just think that some things are just irrelevant.
But I've had literal nightmares about typing on my phone.
Oh, okay.
I hate it.
Oh yeah.
Like I'd have a nightmare where I can't type on my phone properly. Like it keeps autocorrecting to the wrong thing.
You're like, no.
And I just wake up angry.
Really?
Well, I wake up.
Yeah.
I'm not like actually that angry, but I'm getting
like
super
disturbed
frustrated
or whatnot.
That's why I hate texting because I find that I don't know. Maybe I'm just really inaccurate on my phone. But I just find it takes so long to say anything.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of texting neither. I prefer calling.
I don't like having conversations on it.
Yeah, because it's there's so much room for error or misinterpretation rather that it's so difficult to speak on more important topics.
But also if there's
when it comes to
anything
text, you can't.
anything even remotely important.
Yeah, you misinterpret.
Like if I have to ask you some details about something, unless it's, hey, you want to meet here? I'll be here at 7:30. I'll be here.
That's
it's such a waste of time.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like I've spoken to people, they just have full, and they get the Bible on the just
what
boom,
do you call it?
Boom. Just a million lines.
Yeah, in the text box, and then they press send, and then you're like, whoa, what's this? And you're scrolling through.
Well, it's like on Android, you have to click a button. It doesn't all appear. You click a button, and it goes to another window to show all the text.
So you have to press like more. It's like an article. It's like, do you want to read more?
That's just like the worst.
Oh god.
I just look at it.
Yeah, like oh.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's like I just wanted a simple answer.
I'll just call them. Yeah.
Yeah. I prefer. Yeah. So it depends what you're talking about. But I definitely prefer calling because that way you set the tone with your voice. You set your intentions. It's loud and clear, and then you hang up and you call it a day. Because realistically, when you call someone, you look at the time the call log when you hang up. You're like, I spent 30 minutes talking on the phone. Imagine texting 30 minutes worth of conversation.
Horrible. But also on the phone, I mean, you ramble on about nothing.
Yeah, for sure. At one point. Yeah, like, okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, 5 minutes later, like, okay, so how was your day? And then you talk for 30 minutes. But the idea is that you would have done the same thing over text. But it would have been...
Alternatively, you can just ignore their text and then nothing.
Leave them on scene.
Yeah, and then you never have to waste any time.
Yeah, you could do that.
It's a good technique.
That's savage, but I wouldn't.
I've realized that it doesn't, if you do that a lot, it doesn't, people don't like it.
But
I'm joking. I don't actually do that.
But I find people nowadays, they just understand what it means. It's like, I'm busy. You could remove scene and just have...
I purposely don't put it on scene
because
that's just rude.
No, yeah.
But it's like, I was bad. For a while, I'd be like, I had 24-hour response time.
Yeah, it's like, scene for you is like, I will respond in the
No, I
next
wouldn't say
48
seen.
hours.
It would just say unseen, and I would leave it there to remind me. If it was something, I would read the message. But if it was like, oh, you want to do something Friday? And it's like Sunday.
Yeah, like you have a week.
I'll think about it, and I'll respond the next day. But anyway, I don't know how we got on this topic.
I don't know. We were talking about Facebook and population and a whole bunch of good stuff. So I guess we're at an hour and 10. I think we could wrap this up. I'm feeling confident about this one, man. I like this. This was a great podcast. We'll definitely have you back on when you're free, if you're free. So we could do we'll see. We'll have a trilogy. That's what we'll do.
But you'll film a trilogy, but post. What's 2? Does it have a name?
No. What? No.
I don't think it exists. No,
like
it must.
Sequel?
I guess. I don't know. Either way, it doesn't sound as good.
Because there's sequel, trilogy, series, saga.
Is that how it works? I guess, yeah.
Series, saga. I think saga's
either way, film 3, post 2, and always leave one a mystery.
Yeah. And then I'll post it on April Fool's in like 5 years from now and be like,
I'll sue you.
I'll find you. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you for coming on the show, the podcast. I know I asked this last time, so I'll ask you again just because I'm interested. Now you're like, no, please, no. It doesn't have to be.
Wait, don't do it.
You don't want me to do it? No, you're like,
you can ask it. I just won't answer.
No, I'm asking you something else. You ready?
Yeah.
I like to leave. Before we end.
I know that's what you're asking.
Is it the
both?
Quote?
Yeah,
the quote. Eh? Well, the thing is this. What doesn't have to be a quote, because I was gonna say let's substitute. What I like to get from my guests is exploit their mind.
Okay.
So what would be a piece of advice, a quote, something that you'd like to say before we wrap this up for our people?
I can't do anything on spur of the moment.
Nah, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just say that based off of our conversation, I think we could both agree that deploying patience and not being afraid.
Oh, so you just let me not answer that at all, right?
Yeah.
You just let me completely deflect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess you could just I guess we could agree that deploying patience and not being afraid to take risks is essential to.
I find that but I'd say that that's a little bit of a generic because like saying.
So it's relative to someone. It's relative to like your situation.
It's like telling someone who's like, I'm whatever be like, you should not be averse to risks. You should take risks. You should make change. Like everyone knows that, right? Like it doesn't really help people to tell them exactly what they
already know.
Like every single person who needs to make a change knows that. That's not the problem. The problem is they can't. And it's like
truth. That's the truth.
So I would say don't necessarily take risks. Right? Risks aren't inherently beneficial. Some of them are fatal.
Let's hope it doesn't get to that point. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like I would just say that for me at least, I would always know what needed to be done. And the limiting factor was, some sort of fear or something else that would prevent me from doing it. And I would say the most important thing, I can only speak for myself. I always knew what I had to do, and I always knew why I wasn't doing it, and I always knew when I was making an excuse. So I think the most important thing I ever learned, kind of recently, in the past couple of years, was to recognize that and then to force myself to address it. So I would go, for example, like starting the other channel, I went, I don't know how I'm going to film this. I don't know how I'm going to do the audio, the lighting. I don't know what I want to talk about. I don't want to do this. So what I do is I go, tomorrow you will post something. In my head, I know it's a realistic thing.
Yes.
I go, I need an announcement tomorrow. Tomorrow you will post something to notify. And it's just, you can spend 8 hours doing it. You can spend whatever. Just, you have to do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's like, I tried avoiding it because I was like, I didn't want to put the time and effort into it. Suddenly I have to go to the bathroom. Suddenly I'm hungry.
Yeah, you have to eat.
And suddenly the laundry needs to be done. Like everything, but you have to recognize that. And I think the most dangerous thing for me was productive procrastination. I don't know if that's like thing that exists. But
probably an oxymoron.
Well, it's you procrastinate what you want or need to do by doing other things
that are productive
that you need to do. So you convince yourself that
you're doing work.
You're doing work.
The work,
but it actually makes things worse because you feel like you're doing so much, but you still aren't doing what you need to do, and that's worse than just literally not doing anything. Because at least you're not lying to yourself.
Yeah.
So for me, that was it. Like, not just, I would say like, not just generically telling myself, you got to take a risk, you got to do this. It's just setting some sort of deadline, some sort of goal, being, this is a realistic thing to achieve tomorrow. And I know that if I just tell myself I need to get it done, I'll be here 4 months later and it's not done.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I know it takes maximum 2 hours to do it. I'm going to allot 2 hours. Something, even if it's not post-worthy, something was made. Mm-hmm. And it will give me an idea of where to go from there. Because most of the time when people procrastinate, at least from, most of the time other people, and then I, give a disclaimer saying it's just for me. So it's kind of an irrelevant thing to say. But I'll say for me, at least when I procrastinate, you're doing it because out of like a very low level, you're just avoiding something. And that's all you have to do is just change your behavior to force yourself to not avoid.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it gets less scary, less annoying, and that's the thing. For me, I'm going on and on here, but for me, when I would see other people just take action, I always was like, how do they have that confidence? How do they have, this and that to be able to just do it? And the answer is, or I would be like, how are they not nervous when they did it? How are they so certain of themselves? Mm-hmm. And it's just they weren't. Mm-hmm. Most of the time you find out they weren't.
Yeah.
And they just knew they had to do it. They set a deadline basically and just did it. Mm. And it's learning how to do that. And
deal with that emotion.
You're never going to, the fear and all this stuff never goes away. It's just learning how to be okay with it.
Yeah, and upfront with the feeling and just say, no, I have to do it, period.
Yeah.
Like it has to, I have to respect my deadline, period.
Well, it's like, it's simple for me. Someday I want to give a talk or something in front of an audience, but I had literally the worst fear I've ever had in my life was speaking in front of an audience. Mm-hmm. But the problem is that for a long time I was like, oh, I can prepare myself for this. Mm-hmm. I need time. If I perfect like my speech, if I do this, the only thing that gets you like
ready is to actually do it.
You have to just do it. Mm-hmm. Like there's nothing, you can prepare all you want, but at the end of the day, you have to just do it.
Yeah, you have to face the demons.
And if it's terrible, it's terrible, but your next one will be better.
Of course.
And it's just kind of like learning that as being the process. That for me was, I think, the most important thing, which is why I'm still rambling on.
That's fine. I still think it's relevant. So
the Nile Blue channel died because I wanted to do what I'm doing with it now.
Yeah.
But I just was afraid. But I've now learned how to be like, no, you're just going to sit in front of the camera
and just do it.
Speak and just do it.
Yeah. I feel like I got more than I bargained for. I love it.
I kept going. I was like, I have something else.
No, that's good. I think that it sums up the essence of who you are, what you are, when you are, why you are.
But always just be questioning why you're doing stuff and to be aware of why you're doing stuff. But it's like you're always going to make mistakes. Like,
always. I like that. Beautifully said. Thank you so much.
No problem.
For the people interested, you could go check out Now Red, Now Blue on YouTube. Very interesting videos. If you're if you're interested, because I said interested twice, so we'll just roll with it. If you're interested in watching aesthetically beautiful,
fantastically filmed,
edited chemistry videos.
No, I'm not going to hype it that much.
Go check it out.
And watching me do science projects
with
just projects that I want, things that I want to do that just involve chemistry, and I film it. Okay, that's very good description. Yeah.
In a nutshell.
Terrible. Yeah.
Go check them out. For everyone listening, for everyone watching, for everyone being beautiful, bold. I thank you for watching. Until next time, peace.